Living longer. Who wants to live longer? It reminds me of that song. Anybody remember that song by a certain band? Who what? Who wants to live forever? You're going to get a prize wherever you are. Who wants to live forever? It's kind of interesting to think about that concept. You raised your hand. I want to live forever. Living better. Who wants to live better? But I think we're going to have to really talk about what that means, better. Who defines better? I remember when I got to meet each and every one of these individuals, and each one of them has taught me about how to live better. And that starts by asking questions from wise women and of wise men. Living longer. I had a conversation with you a couple days ago, Peter, about, well, as life expectancy trends rise, those of us that have children, some of them will live, as you said to me, over 100. Wow. But that something will happen inside of them where everything's changing too. I thought of you the other day, Dr. Corsa, when you were telling me that when I travel, to make sure I stretch. And so I brought something to remind me why it's important to stretch. But this one gets to go to Julia, because Julia was not expecting to be on this panel. I remember a Baptist minister years ago. I heard him on TV. I was passing through the channel. And he said that, blessed are the flexible, for you shall never be broken. Wow, isn't that crazy? You'll never be broken if you're flexible. So, Julia, you get to get this. You get to get like the flexibility. I call this like Jeffrey or Tim the Giraffe. Here we go. Tim is named after you, Tim the Giraffe. This is your flexible. Because you're in a world of finance and you have to remain flexible all the time. That no matter of the stress around you, no matter what is going on in your life, that you have to figure out how to find this balance because you will be stretched. Dr. Rahm, you have had quite the past 12 months. 12 months ago, man, life was incredible. You were crushing it. You continue to crush it. And then something happened. Everybody ever heard of that thing, Murphy's Law? I think it's Murphy or Murphy's Law. Anybody ever experienced that before? Murphy's Law? Clayton, you have this unique way of making like complex things like really simple. Murphy's Law, what is it?
Every damn day.
Every damn day what?
Something's going to happen to check you.
Wow. Something's going to happen. It will not go the way you think it's going to happen. Tim, you are an entrepreneur. Does it ever happen like you think it's going to happen?
Wish it did.
You are crazy. You got me on a ski slope in San Moritz a couple days ago. You have no freaking fear. You and I immediately went on to a red. Now, if anybody's ever been on a red in Switzerland, that's like a quadruple black diamond back on the East Coast of the United States. But yet you weren't afraid. That you had this unique way of channeling that. Well, that to me is what is required. In order for you to live longer, stress will kill you. It will put you in the grave. It will give you heart attacks. What is the leading cause for men of death, Dr. Rahm? What is it?
Heart attacks.
Wow, heart attack. Heart attack. Injuries. How many people have injuries in their head or in their bodies, Dr. Corsa?
Everyone.
What the heck is going on? Wow. Peter, living longer. How do we learn to live longer?
First of all, it's not even our choice. We are living longer, right? If you compare the life expectancy now and 100 years ago, 45 to 80 years in the most developed countries. And this time is just getting longer and longer. So there is no choice. We need to find out how to live healthier. Live healthy.
So the man next to me, by the way, Riyadh, I don't know if you're still in here. He said something a while ago, I remember on an interview, and he said, I apologize, I'm still learning how to speak English. And I never give the respect to those, Julia, you included, that this English, and I appreciate, it's not your first language. I cannot imagine being in front of a room and speaking a language that was not my first language. So to all those in the room that, for me and for the others that only speak English, I am so grateful. A man or a woman who knows 2 languages is worth 2 people. I believe it. You are both a physicist and you are a biologist, are you not, Peter?
Well, I was born a physicist. Well, actually, I was educated in theoretical physics, and I switched to biology.
Switch to biology. I had told you a story. Anybody, back to the kids, have hamsters or have ever had hamsters or some sort of smaller type of pet? Well, the hamsters that we had, one of them died. I didn't know how impacted, by the way, I would be of the death of a hamster. And it didn't live very long, 6 months, 7 months. And I had asked you pre-interview, why? Why is it that a hamster will live a year or less, no matter its habitat? I mean, these were like spoiled hamsters. But it didn't. And you said something that's interesting to me. You said, because it's on the bottom of the food chain. The bottom of the food chain? What the hell does it have to do? So talk about genes. Talk about top of the food chain, bottom of the food chain, how we expel energy, what you're studying. Teach us what you're learning.
It's actually a very cool question. So, well, every living being is an evolutionary machine. So we are born to adopt, to investigate the environment and adopt. And those of us who are not very successful, who are at the bottom of the food chain, they are trying to reproduce as fast as possible, just to avoid being eaten at the same time. I mean, if you are a mouse and you wake up in the morning, I mean, your first goal is not to get eaten by the evening, right? So these guys, I mean, they are very unfortunate people, well, species. So they have to reproduce as fast as possible, and they underinvest in repair. So they don't invest into repair. They die of cancer in the lab under the most perfect conditions because they simply don't waste energy on repair. They use all their energy for reproduction. If you switch to the top of the food chain, like if you are a whale, and if you are big enough, no calmar can ever eat you, right? So you are not eatable. Like in humans, I mean, no, we're not competing with any species on this planet, other than some bacteria maybe once in a while. So when you're on the top of the food chain, if by chance you get a gene that extends your lifespan, then those who have these genes will live longer and they will reproduce longer, and then, give or take 10 million years, everyone in the population will have a collection of longevity genes. So in a way, exceptional longevity is the ultimate Darwinian prize. Once you get on the top of the evolutionary game, you get non-aging or exceptional longevity for free.
Dr. Corsa, you're shaking your head a lot. You deal with some of the most high-performance humans on the face of the earth. Talk about your practice, where it's located, and what you're learning today.
Thank you, Dustin, for having me. My name is Dr. Lisa Corsa. I have a practice in Boca Raton, sunny Florida, not freezing here. This is very cold. Premier Therapy Solutions. And really at Premier Therapy Solutions, we give one thing. It's called hope. The body can heal. Period. End of story. The body is fixable. Out of 636 muscles, 206 bones, and 360 joints in the human body, all of it is fixable. And Dustin's right, everyone has a problem. So getting that patient to be fixed in their brain and their body is what I do. And I don't stop. I will not stop. I'm relentless with the most complex diagnoses in the world. I get a challenge, a passion for diagnosing, getting the data, and fixing them. I love it.
Dr. Rahm, it takes courage to share your story. I used to think before I had met you that sharing my story in some areas of it was weakness. You taught me that it is strength. What is Dr. Christina Rahm going through at the same time that she is a successful businesswoman?
Well, first of all, I love your story, and it was one of the most remarkable stories I've ever heard, and I just want to say that, Dustin. My story, I'm a cancer survivor. I lost a child and had another child with cancer. And I am a scientist that developed patents to reverse aging and to regenerate the skin, hair, and nails, and to get rid of nuclear waste and things like that, like GMOs in our environment. So that's the positive. When you give things to the world, sometimes you sacrifice part of yourself, but you have to balance when you need to do that and when you don't. This year, I almost died a couple of times because of some mistakes that some doctors made in routine surgery. So it was really rough. They brought in all 4 of our kids, and they sat down and told me that I was going to die and told me to tell my children goodbye. Now, that was about 2.5 months ago. And no one knows that. Dustin knows that. A few people in our community, of course, friends and family know that. So for a scientist to be able to cellularly reverse aging, how can I almost die? The truth is, all of us are given this life. And Riyadh said something that I loved. Every day you should say thank you. Hello, life, right? So when I almost died 2.5 months ago, it was a rude awakening. And then 2 days ago, or a day ago, I was in the hospital in Zurich. Another complication from a surgery that was done, like I said, over 2 months ago. I had a choice to stay and feel sick or to come to Davos. Again, going back to Riyadh, I love when we make a choice to live and to succeed. And Dustin, you went through a lot in your life, and I have too. But we've chosen to succeed and to grow. So while I may be one of the scientists that can help reverse aging, I think what's important is to live every day to our fullest. So the day we die, we did our very best, and we can be known as a legacy, as someone that really tried to help humanity. And I think that's what you've done, Dustin, and hopefully I've had a small part of that as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahm. Julia. Back to being flexible. You're in a world of finance. Flexibility is required. That you have to be able to control your thoughts. And you're also a mom. You also want to see the world, run a business, self-care. Why is self-care important? Even as a successful business person, why is it so important to occasionally go onto a boat, go see the water? Why, Julia?
I think if you don't have health, you don't have anything. This is fundamental of the success, of the power you start to do things you like to do and to keep your dream up. So when we talk about the longevity and the AI, so health in tech, so our platform is really use AI technology and to try to solve most complex problem on the insurance and the healthcare. But I'm so much motivated and inspired by all the people here, the leaders, innovators, the scientists, try to keep this thing going and educate people about the health. You know, I don't know people knows Ray Kurzweil, so he talked about singularity is near. And talk about AI, and after 2029, just about 3 or 4 years, and probably human will live forever. We think about forever. It's really AI will have all the solution for the diseases, and they will even talk about it. We maybe will be bionic, and we maybe bionic combine the physical and all the AI together. But the most important is humanity. It's not how long we want to live. It's what impact we want to give to the earth, to the community, to everybody around us. You know, live better, live happier. That is really the goal, not just live longer. So I think everybody should take a moment to care about your health, to care about your family, to care about people around you. So you will be happier, everybody will be happier and healthier.
I love that. You kept smiling, Dr. Rahm. Why were you smiling?
I was smiling because I was just thinking of the amazing people in this room and the opportunity to sit next to you and to you and everyone else, because I think being connected, you know, as a scientist, I know our cells talk, but I also know that we talk through cellular energy, even across the room or through a phone. I don't know if everyone knows that. As a nanobiotechnologist, I know that. You could communicate, through cellular energy. We used to think that was not, that was just something special. Now we know there's human beings that can actually do that. And sitting here, I was taking the time to think how thankful I am to be here today and to choose Davos, to choose coming to a panel so I can meet such amazing people so we can make the changes together. I think when Clayton was speaking, I loved hearing the fact that he talked about how together we can do anything. And I know that there's people in the room that doubt that, but I don't. I know that we can. We have to choose. Going back to Kosovo, I love being there. I go one to two times a year, sometimes more, and know a lot of your diplomats and people in the country. But my favorite place in Kosovo is going to the cancer center with the children because I've really connected with them because I had cancer. And I just want to say there's never a coincidence. There's always a reason we meet each other. And we should be thankful for that, and we should remember that. It's not who the smartest person is in this room. It's who really makes you feel the best and who changes your life so that we can help humanity.
I love it. Because I will not let Dr. Corsa go after that, because that is really hard. I'm going to send the scientist, Mr. Data Scientist, you, Peter. You get to go next. What do you think?
About AI and
All of it.
sure,
All this data all around
Yeah.
us. Because it's information.
right. Well, we have just heard about this idea of approaching singularity with AI, and obviously AI has a huge impact on how we develop drugs against diseases. We live actually in the best of times. Now 500 million people have their medical records in a digitalized form. More than 10 million people are genotyped right now. So it's like in airspace, when one airplane crashes, the black box is investigated and all the other airplanes learn how to avoid that mistake. So now we have an analog of that with humans. So humans are getting diseases and unfortunately still die, but all this medical information is stored and analyzed, meaning that now with the help of machine learning, we can actually figure out what went wrong in this individual, what went wrong in this individual, so that these mistakes of Mother Nature could be fixed with technology. And that's precisely what, for example, we're doing and many other people are doing. And pharma companies are acquiring this information now to develop even better drugs. I do believe that with this explosion of information, we can finally find out how humans live, not like mice live or other animals like we have been learning. I mean, think about learning how not to age or die from a mouse, from an animal that lives 1 year. I mean, it's not even fun.
Learning not
To-
to die.
Right, so we should learn from the most successfully aging people in the wild and reproduce their tricks with technology. And that's how eventually we will live a lot longer and a lot more healthy.
As we now go towards the end of a mindset, that to live longer, to live better, it is a mindset. Dr. Corsa, I'm going to ask each and every one of the other super minds up here, so you get to have more time to think than Dr. Corsa. Your 5-year mindset, what is it?
I think we need to focus on prevention care, not sick care. So my 5-year mindset is to collect the data out there, because it's out there. Take that data and give the prescription of prevention. Let's not wait until you're sick. And if you're sick, let's find out the root cause so you don't get sick again. That's the issue. There are so many tools out there right now, immediately in all these countries, that I can tell you, for not a lot of money, you can get a prescription for how to prevent disease. It's there, but we are behind. So my 5-year is to go out and educate. I tell all my patients, let's get these next 5-10 years prevention. I have over a dozen people in my clinic well into their 90s. I have
You're
learned
next.
from their 90s. I learned from them. I've been with them for 25 years. Yes, I am the Navy SEAL. I am the Navy SEAL of rehab medicine, screaming at them every day, you must do it. 7 days a week, there's no days off. There's no days off. But don't look at the mountain. It's small steps, 20, 30 minutes a day. And we need to remember this principle: specific adaptations to imposed demands. The said principle. The body's going to adapt. You must change it every 30 days in order for you to change. Just like Dustin said, we're all here as leaders to be change agents. Make a paradigm shift in our healthcare. That's what I'm here to tell everyone. You can do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start now.
Dr. Corsa, and then I'm going to go to each person and ask the question. The people in the room said, I would like to spend time at your clinic, but I probably can't afford it. Can they afford it? And what would that look like? And how can they get a hold of you?
It is difficult, a one-on-one, but no, I have a wonderful practice in Boca Raton, Florida. I have over 40 employees. I have taught the Corsa method, grilled it into their head. You can reach me. My assistant, wonderful assistant, has been here today to help me. Through our website, Premier Therapy Solutions. I do travel globally. I mean, I'm blessed to I just was in Malaga, working for 3 days in beautiful Malaga, to 2 men with chronic low back pain. The #1 cause of disability globally. Everyone has it. Everyone. And I fix it. And make sure you don't get it back. So you can get a hold of me through my website. What does it look like? I have 3 algorithms. You guys need to realize it's 90 days, 6 months, or 1 year. I'm not fixing you in 24 hours. It's 90 days to fix the body, and some of the neurologically severely paralyzed patients, it's 1 year. Let's be realistic and set realistic goals, and I do that with every patient. 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. That's what you need to understand. The Corsa method does work. I did develop it. Like Dr. Rahm, I am a clinical scientist. I'm a translational scientist. I practice evidence-based research medicine. Period, end of story. It works. I have it. It works at Premier. So thank you.
Peter, your 5-year mindset.
I think what will change in 5 years, what's most important is that the biotech, pharma, and medical professions should increasingly switch from diseases to health management. We call it healthcare. In fact, it's sick care, as you know. So you need to get sick in order to get treated, unfortunately. If you are 90 years old and you're not functioning well, but technically have no diseases, you're not a client of a clinic most of the time. We need to allow, by regulation, by policy changes, by changes in financing of science, to start looking at functional health well before the actual diseases, as you have just said, set in. I think our everyday experience shows that once you get a disease, especially, we call these diseases chronic for a reason. It's very hard to revert. It's a lot easier to prevent, and that needs to be a focus of technology development, medical regulation, and medical profession. I think by necessity, this switch will start to occurring in 5, let's say, years from now. The earlier it starts, the better all sitting here will spend the rest of their lives. I think that's very important.
So intellectually, you are the smartest man on the stage, I must say. Your business. What do you need? What are you looking for? Because you said to me that when it comes to aging, it is not prioritized as a disease. It's not treated as one. So what does your company need in order for you to help my son Leo and my daughter Elsa, the 2 best things I have in this world, that they will live longer, that they will live better? What do you need to help them and to help all those that have babies and kids and their nieces and their nephews? And what do you need?
Really, decouple aging, health, and diseases. That's strange as it sounds. We are living a lot healthier lives, right? Because the medical profession is working. It's very hard to die early, by the way. Nobody is, there's no, the door on the way out is closed now. Meaning that people will live to 90 to 100, and this is the inertial scenario. So if we're not thinking about it, most of the people sitting here will be alive for a very long time. But if you look at people who are 90 years old right now, they are technically kind of disease-free, because if they had diseases, they would be dead already. But these people are shadows of their former selves functionally. You don't have chess players of world level at 80 and 90 years old. Nobody is running marathons at that time. These people cannot help their kids solve math problems in school, and that's for a reason. So what I'm telling here is that this has to be understood as a problem. The loss of functional health well before any particular disease shows up is the reason of all those diseases. So ask your politician, ask your investor next door, politician next door, and biotechnologist next door to start focusing on function. Diseases are being solved, but the function will destroy the quality of the worst part, the worst half of your life, if nothing is done against that. And that's precisely what we're trying to do. Our company, among very few others in this space, most of longevity biotechs these days are focused on diseases. This is a trap. And I'm here to inform you about this trap. I mean, kick your biotechnology friends. Make them do the real stuff. I mean, functional decline is the beast, and this is aging, and that needs to be solved. Because, as I said, there is not, the door on the way out is closed. Your doctors will not let you out easily.
Julia, your 5-year mindset.
In 5 years, our company, Health Tech and Qian, think about it, everybody should have your health data on your phone, and then you should be able to connect with all the brilliant experts here to take care of your health. So the data belongs to you, your health, your well-being. We will have a device you wear, a tracking, and send a notification to remind you, and it will be personalized. It will not be one size fits all. We have different DNA, we have a different habit, we come from a different region, but that will be personalized towards your situation. You will be easy to talk to any doctor on the earth, and whoever is a functional expert, data expert, and there's no big company in the middle to monetize your data and give you a solution, and you should be the one on the platform to find your solution through the AI, through the algorithm, and live healthier, happier. That's the 5 years.
I had this phone call from Clayton Thomas. Drives me crazy. And he said to me, we almost lost her. Dr. Rahm is one of my best friends, and I don't have that many. All of you are now in it too. How does Dr. Rahm want to be remembered? Because you had this moment that everything changed. That you're fighting with people, Dustin and Clayton loving and hating each other 5 minutes later. How does Dr. Rahm want to be remembered?
So I agree, people can live to be, 120, 130. There can also be an emergency situation where people die in a car accident, or like me, because a surgeon made a mistake. So you never know when your last day is going to be, so you try to live your best. I want to be remembered for honestly loving people. I know that sounds odd, and I know it probably isn't accepted by everyone here, because I think if people look me up, Dustin knows this, I've worked in 92 countries with governments, done a lot of patents, and if I got to live 5 to 10 more years, I'd finish those patents on cellular energy and reversal of aging and GMOs to help this world. But really what I want to be remembered for is loving people regardless of their religion or their sexual beliefs or their political beliefs, just caring about people, because I want to go back to this. It's how you remember people is how they make you feel. So people may read about all of us in a book or hear about us later, but what really matters is how we make each other feel. And I know that's probably not the answer people wanted to hear, but that's really what I would like.
Remember the first time I'd ever done an interview before. And I'd heard this quote. It was to start each day with a task completed. And to find someone to help you through life. And that you need to recognize that life is not fair. It's not. And that you're going to fail along the way. But as Tim Johnson says, you got to take some risk. And Chris Voss, you got to stand up to the bullies. And you never give up. And if you do this, then this generation, my kids' generation, and all the future generations will live in a world far better than the one we received. I believe that is how a leader impacts. It is not the impact today or tomorrow. It is about 100 years from now, and 500. And it starts with a group of people that are learners. Thank you for joining us at the first ever masterclass in Davos. Thank you. Let's give our panel a round of applause.